So I've just been on and I've just ironed this very quickly, and I did exactly the same. I've done the 1/4 of an inch, the 1/8 of an inch there, and then folded that back to an 1/8 of an inch along that side. And then on this side I've come in the 2/4 of an inch like that, but I'm going to do it, I think, an 1/8 of an inch and then fold that down the 1/4. So you've got that bigger piece on the ruffle, just like we did before. So what I'm going to come in and do now is just where that 1/8 of an inch is, I'm just going to do a straight stitch all the way down on this side. So you've got 2 pieces, but when you do it, what you need to do is have let's just put that needle in, hold that in place. You need to have your one side, the 1/8 of an inch on the left side on one piece, and on the right side on the other piece. Back stitch, and there we go, all the way up. Fiddly. I can pin it, I'm just relying on where the iron has been to keep it in place. So the other one is now on the other side, the 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to come in and get that on. Okay, get that in. I'll do back stitch there. And then we'll come in with this piece. Do back stitch. This is the most fiddliest bit with the ruffle. So if you've got a doll's dress already, you don't actually have to make the dress up. You could use any of your other doll's dresses and just put the apron on the top if you wanted to, back stitch. But it was just quite nice to do a whole outfit. So that's your 2 ruffles on that side. And now we're going to change it to a tacking stitch on the other side. Okay, so I'm putting mine on my biggest stitch, which I've got, which is my number 7. And then we're going to come in and we're going to fold it in an 1/8 of an inch. Like that. Okay, just an 1/8 of an inch, a very small, and then we're going to come in and fold that down a 1/4 of an inch, like that, and we're just going to run all the way along. Oops, that's not a 1/4, I don't think that's the 1/8 there, and then bring that in the 1/4. We're going to run 2 rows of tacking stitches down it. Okay, So just come in and do that. And again, if you want to pin it, you're more than welcome to pin it. If you feel that you need to pin, that's fine. Don't put a back stitch in when you're tacking. You're just putting in a tacking stitch, which is going to be so that we can gather up this ruffle on this side. Okay, so this will be the outside of the ruffle and this will be the inside of the ruffle. Turning that over. There we are. Once we've done that, we're going to run all the way down again on it and do a second row of gathering stitches right near the top. There we go. Okay, so take that out. Do not put a back stitch into it. Leave yourself a nice long end. And come along and do another one, and we don't want to go over the top of these stitches. We want to stay away from these stitches, so we're going to come nice and close up here to the very top. And don't put a back stitch in. Oops. There we go. And don't put a back stitch in there, just pull it out and leave yourself a nice long thread. Okay. So that's the one. Let's do the next one. So this one would be on your other side when you do it. We've got our 1/8 of an inch and then we've got our 1/4 of an inch. Just about there. That's about it. There we go. Right, pop that in. We're just going to run all the way along, catching that all the way along. Just pull it out a bit there. That's it. There we go. Push that under. Okay, and just keep going along. Turning that under. Does that come out a bit? No, look. It's very fiddly. Once you've got this bit, and it is only a small piece, that's probably the hardest bit of it. There we go, that's better. Once you have this one side done, I think then that it just goes really easy then. It's just getting this side done. So take that side out and then do another row right up close to that top. That done. Alright, okay, let's go to the table. Okay, so I've just been over and I have done my embroidery. Now how to do the embroidery, I won't do it again on this. There is a complete video on how to do the embroidery and I will put the link for it up here. so you can watch that, and it shows you how to make the patterns smaller and that. Now this one I have made it on a 3-inch square. I did it on a big piece of fabric, and I've just cut it down to a 3-inch square, and then I've just backed it with a piece of interfacing like that there. Okay, so that's all ready to go. And then I've got another 3-inch square there, and I've got a piece of cord. You don't need to have cord. Somebody said to me, does it have to be this type of cord? You can use string, you can use anything you've got, as long as it's got a little lump, you know, it's going to give you that little lump. So we're just going to come along there, and we're going to stitch really close to the edge on here like that. So we will go to the machine and do that. Then once we've got that stitched, we're going to stitch these two pieces here together like that, with this piece in the center. So that piece will go in like that, and we'll stitch it down just like that. Okay, so here we have our piece with the piece of cord inside it. Okay, and I'm just going to drop it down, and I want it to come nice and close to the edge there. So I'm just going to drop it in and just do a line of stitching along, just to catch that and hold that in place for a moment. I'm just doing an ordinary straight stitch with a back stitch, sorry, with a just an ordinary straight stitch on your normal stitch like what you usually do. And this is just a holding stitch to hold it in place. There you go. Okay, and now we're going to come in, take this off. You can do it doesn't really matter because this is just a holding stitch, but you could do a back stitch on the end. Pop it on, and what you want to do is get it on nice and close to that edge. Okay, put your other piece on, so you're sandwiching it in the middle. And what you're aiming to do is to come in where those stitches are, and you want to put that where those stitches are like that, and run that along that line of stitching like that. And you want that the same on the other side. Okay, so you're going to marry them up. So marry them up on both sides like that, and then pop your pin into it so that you've got them both sitting exactly the same on that sewing line. So come around on that back and just check that's on that sewing line there, and put your pin on the front and check that's definitely on that sewing line there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to feel where that is, and that is where we're going to put our needle. So our needle is going to go, so it's going to go right down. You can put it down, just make sure that you're in the right place. I need to come this way a tiny bit. That's where I need to be, and I'm going to run it along there. So it's running along there. If you do that with your finger, you'll get an impression, and you should be able to follow that impression along. Come back, and then go all the way along. Just take that pin out. Come along with your finger again, you can, and just give you that line so that way you can see where you're going. And basically you want to be just to the very edge of that, just to the very edge of that cord. There you go, do a back stitch. You have that. So that's your little front piece finished. Turn that around, and you should have a little piece of cord which sits up there just like that. Okay, and that'll just give you like the top of your little skirt piece, of your little apron piece. That'll be the little bib there. Okay, so take that to the iron now and iron that, and then what we're going to do is come in and you're going to cut this fabric right back up to there like that. Okay, so your bib's all ready to go, and then you're going to need 4 pieces like this. Okay, let's put that to one side, And you're going to need 2 really long pieces like this. We've already worked on our ruffles and I've gathered them up. To gather them, you just take 2 of your threads, either the top or the bottom, and then just move them along and like that until you've got it all gathered to the length you want. Okay, and then we've got our bottom of our skirt for the apron, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the bottom piece and we're going to fold it up 1/4 of an inch like that, and then we're going to fold it up 1/4 of an inch again on the iron. So do that bottom piece first and then come in on both ends and fold in 1/4 of an inch like that, and then fold in another 1/4 of an inch so that that end comes over and sits neatly on top of there like that. And do exactly the same on this one, so you're folding over 1 and you're folding over 2. Okay, so you can stop the video here now if you want to and just go and do that. Okay, and then we're going to take them to the sewing machine. So now we're going to work on our skirt, and we're going to come in here on that 1/4 of an inch and we're just going to stitch right along that bottom piece on that 1/4 of an inch, and we're going to get as close to the edge as we can. Okay, reverse, back stitch, reverse in the collar. Folding under. Going to come to the 2 side pieces now. Let's just remove that thread a minute, and we're just going to fold these 2 side pieces down like that. Okay, so we'll come to the side. You will have already had this pressed, so you should be able to just come in and stitch down straight down there like that. You can put pins in it if you want to. If you feel more confident with pins, put pins into it, it's not a problem. I like to put mine on so it's just underneath the mouth there. When you come down here, just do it slowly because you want to keep it straight. You don't want it hanging down over the end, okay? And then back stitch. I just need myself a bit of an edge so I can cut that properly. Come in and do the other side. So this should be folded already to the right distance. Put that underneath, and I want it to come on, as I say, just past the mouth. Come on. And do back stitch. And then right the way along. For some reason. That's it. And come all the way down on that 1/4 of an inch. Okay, that's that one. Take that one off. You can do a back stitch there if you want to. Right, so just take that one off. So I'm just coming along to cut the bib. Let's cut this piece here off. And this piece here off. Okay, and then just come along and cut it where your interfacing is, and your interfacing then on the right side will hide away that fabric, so you won't actually get to see any of that fabric underneath. Okay, so I'm coming along with this now. Let's get rid of all these scraps. I've got a big pile of scraps over by my bin where I've been just throwing them. Okay, so we've got our 2 pieces of strap fabric. I'm going to put one on this side and we're going to make a sandwich. So it's going on there like that, and the other one is going on that side like that. Now you can pin that in place. I'm just going to pin it here on this piece like that, and then I'm going to come up and I'm going to just stitch the whole thing together all the way along. Okay, so get that in my 1/4 of an inch. If you've got a 1/4 of an inch and you prefer to use it, use it. Don't use it if you're going to do any zigzags. So I don't really got any zigzags on this one, but okay, come on, back stitch, and then come all the way along to the end. There we go. And back stitch. I'll do a bit of a longer back stitch on that one because I just noticed that that one is slightly longer. Don't know how on that side than it is on the other. Must have measured it wrong. Hopefully I've got it. Okay, right, so grab the other 2 pieces. Here they are. And do exactly the same on the other side. So that one's on that side. Make sure that's on lining up nicely. Yeah. I'm going to line it to the front because my back is just coming over a tiny bit there. So I'm going to line that up to the front rather than the back. There we are. That's it. And line that one up there as well. Okay, now I'm going to put a pin in it. And with this side, because I'm coming down from the top, I'm going to put another pin in as well. Okay, and then we're just going to come down from here, put it on, get it lined up at your 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and then come on, back stitch, and then all the way down to the bottom. Giving a very gentle pull there because that's fine. Yeah. It's just catching. Okay, and back stitch. There we go. Okay, that's that one. Right, so I'm going to pull these 2 out like so, and then we're going to fold them over like this. And like this, so we're folding them in onto that half where it comes in, like they're folding these pieces in half like that onto those stitches, and then we're coming together and then they're going to stitch them together all the way down. Okay, so we're just going to come in and fold them into the middle and join them together and stitch them all the way down. You won't see any of this because it is inside of your dress. So if you want to, you can go to the iron and just press it so that it's sitting in there like that. I'm just going to do it up like this and then bring that one in and sit that one in like that, and then just join them together like that. Pin them down so you've got your nice straight strap. Got some pins, that is. There you go. And as I say, you won't see any of this because it will be underneath your ruffle. Okay, there you go. Fold that one in, fold that one in, so you've got a nice strap coming in there like that, and put a pin in it. There we go, keep going. Folding that one in there, like that, and then fold that one in the same, and come across. And we've got another pin in it, if we've got another pin, yes. Okay, let's grab some more pins. I think there's some on the floor. There's always pins on the floor. What am I talking about? So again, I'm going to fold it in again onto that line of stitching, fold that back, and then fold that one in just the same. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I folded that into that line of stitching. I'm just folding that one into that line of stitching. You can do this at the table. Trying to keep moving from one area to another, because as you know, I'm still getting over this COVID, and I'm trying not to do any exertion at the moment if I can help it. It's just, I'm just struggling, not doing too much. So I'm trying to just sit here at the sewing machine and do it. So there you go. So you've got it all pinned all the way down. Okay. Just make sure it's all laying in nicely, and then we're just going to come along and we're just going to do a very straight stitch just right down. Start with the back stitch. So come on, I'm going to go nice and close to this edge. Come on, back stitch, and then all the way down. That one needed to be tucked in just a teeny bit more there. Pull that one out, but that's better. There we go. And reverse. Okay, right, so that's that side done. I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to put, I mean, what you could do is just come all the way along and fold this piece along first, and just put the pin in it for now, so that you've got that one folded along like this. If you find that easier on that row of stitching, like that. 2 and another one here probably. And 3, so you know that's all folded in. There we go, like that. And then bring this one in and fold it down, and then fold that one across the top. Slip out your pin and put that one in. You might find that easier to do. So just again here where your pin is, come in there, fold those two together, slip your pin out and put it in. Ow. If you do stab yourself like that, just check that you're not bleeding. You don't want to get covered in blood all over your lovely piece of work you've just done. Again, slip that one in there. There you go, and then do the last one. That one's just in there like that. And fold that one in like that. And yes, I did cut that one right. The other one was just slightly too long. So that was lucky. Okay, there we go. And we're just gonna come in and put that last piece in there. Okay, and then we're just gonna run this one again, just like we've just done. I'll do it this way around. Just put the pins in the wrong way around. Do it on that side. So I'm gonna slip the pin out there, back stitch, and then all the way up. Want to catch that pin. Oops. Let's come right off the liner there, sorry. Yeah, what's happening is this pin, I'm going to take it out, is catching on this piece of the, on this piece here. And as is that one. Well, just if you've got them underneath, you won't stab yourself. Right, okay, and then I'll just do a back stitch. Right, there we go. Okay, so that's those pieces on.